Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves.
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Tuesday, 12th of August, 2025. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Locals, and Pill.net.
and if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. And if you're over on Facebook, you got like 7 choices. And you can even change them if you want to, so you can be undecisive.
Don't be indecisive. That would be terrible.
So run over there and clickety click.
Clickety click, everybody. All right. So, are we ready to jump right in? Got to say hi to the fam first here in just a second. I know you're trying to get everything set up over there.
Got Mike in the house.
Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
Got Chad in the house.
Hey, Chad.
We got Cow Bear in the house. Thank
What's up,
you.
Cat Bear? Yeah, thank
we
you.
love our intros, all of them.
Yes, they're fun. They're good. I
Yeah.
like them.
We worked hard on them.
Yeah, something like that.
There's Miss Steph.
There's Steph. Hey, Steph.
If everyone
for
could
joining.
pray for Steph's grandson Levi, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, that would be appreciated.
And there's Miss Silver.
There's Silver. What's going on? All right.
So, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in.
Don't waste any more time.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. There we go. President Trump compares cleaning up D.C. to something his father told him.
Let's listen.
All right. We should.
City, you know, my father always used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart. And he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in. Because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty, and they don't respect us. So it's a very good question, actually.
Thoughts?
All right. You know, pretty decent analogy. I've never heard that one before, but it makes a lot of sense. You know, if it's dirty on the outside, you can expect that what people can't see is going to be so much worse. You know,
Correct.
we all have had that moment in our life, more than likely, or if nothing else, at least you know somebody that threw stuff in the closet to clean up before the guests came over.
I always like to say, you can't eat at everyone's house.
No, you can't.
You got to be real careful about that.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that.
It
you know?
is a great analogy.
It is a great analogy. It's
That's
something
what
to
my
consider.
grandma always used to say.
Oh, yeah?
is, baby, you can't eat at everyone's house.
Mm.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, well, Boy, ain't that the truth, huh?
Yeah. True.
So,
You ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. Here we go. All right. Tom Homan torches the media over lies about DC crime.
Let's listen.
Yeah.
Trump surging law enforcement to D.C., National Guard, FBI, ATF, Secret Service. Is ICE a part of this equation at all?
Yes, ICE and Border Patrol. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for 40 years. I won't transit D.C. without a gun. And any of these reporters said the crime rate is way down and it's safer than they say. I dare any of them walk the streets of D.C. after dark. If it's that safe, go ahead and do it. And see how that works out for you.
What do you say? I mean, the people that are trying to spin this, how blind do they think the average American is, especially one that might, live and commute in the D.C. area, to try and get us to believe that it's really getting better in Washington when you see the stories?
It's the same people said the border's secure as you and I watch thousands of people cross the border every day. They think we're idiots. So, anybody that transits DC, works in DC, or lives in DC, they know the truth. And just like the ones who were smart, we knew the border was not secure. We knew the border is a historic crisis. So, the lies, the lies, the lies. They think if they lie enough, people start believing them. But Americans are smarter.
Thoughts?
See, that's the thing is the press, when they put this narrative out, that's what I'm going to go with, narrative. When they put this narrative out, they're not going to talk to anybody in the DC metro area. They're not going to talk to anybody that's going to tell the opposite of what they want. They're only going to be able to find people that agree with them entirely. It's almost like one of the reasons why the legacy media is once upon a time, and it's not anything that people really trust or believe anymore because of that very thing. So who are they trying to convince? They're trying to convince everybody who watches the news, everywhere else that can't confirm that what they're saying is absolute BS. It's just the way the press works. They've gotten away with it for so long, and they think that people just take everything they say, and some people will, but it's such a dwindling number of people who actually care what the legacy media has to say. So yeah, I mean, they're going to continue to lie, but Tom Homan's right. Hey, if you trust it that much, then go right ahead, do what you think is right out there in DC. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that people figured out pretty quick that DC really isn't that great of a place to be right now. It's not anywhere that, you let your kids run free by any means. So, but there's also a far cry between that and they don't have to convince people that it's safe. They just have to make people think that it's safe enough that it doesn't need the National Guard. And that's what they're going off of. They're relying on, it's nowhere near as bad as needing the National Guard in, the indignance. It's part of one of the things they do to convince people. Why would anybody be that indignant if they didn't believe in it that much? Well, they're kind of using that, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily believe it. Not going to see, Lemonis or not Lemonis. Who are some of those newscasters?
Oh,
like Potato Head and stuff like that.
yeah, they're
Anyways,
gone.
yeah, they're not going to go down the streets of DC all alone in the middle of the night. No, not at all.
Exactly.
It's just part of a psychological campaign.
Yep.
If you know anything about DC, though, that it's probably been a long time coming because the police unions have been complaining about cities like DC, where they had all the defund the police kind of crap going on.
Exactly.
Surprise. You get rid of the police and there's crime. Who could have seen that one coming?
Nobody.
Yeah. Surprise.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right. ABC anchor breaks from the left-wing script and confirms how dangerous DC is. Well, sounds like somebody actually felt like, or, didn't feel like continuing to lie.
Exactly.
FBI kneelers, too.
Ready?
Kneelers. I don't get it.
Explain, Calbear.
Yes, please
Oh,
explain.
wait,
I don't know that one.
let's listen.
All right, thanks. Yeah, let's do
We've
that.
been talking so much about the numbers, and yeah, usually that's how you play devil's advocate is you talk about, oh, well, stats say crime is down. However, I can tell you firsthand here in downtown DC where we work, right here around our bureau, just in the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot. One person died literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau. It was within the last 2 years that I actually was jumped walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning, one of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day because we're all experiencing it firsthand while working and living down here.
Thoughts?
So it certainly sounds like she's not seeing a reduction in crime. And she's in the press, so she should most certainly know that numbers can be fudged to make anything fit in the news, so long as you're trying to promote a specific narrative. Even more so if you own, if 5 companies own all of the news. That's kind of how that one works. So it's one of those things where it's like, if they don't stick with the narrative, then it won't necessarily help out. Mike says Capitol Police is part of the problem. I know that the Capitol Police have had some bad apples in there. After all, I think it was one of the Capitol Police that was paraded in front of everybody. Got hit with what was it? Not a chair. So he got hit with something, and they tried to parade him around. Nancy Pelosi had him around as like a little pet dog for a couple of days.
It wasn't even a chair. It was like something. It wasn't anything.
Yeah, stuff was getting thrown around and got hit with it, but it made for really good pictures. And he certainly played the part. But I remember, I wish I could remember his name now. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I remember did a whole thing about the fact that.
Puss.
Anyways, his now I lost my train of thought, dear. It's all right. About how he wasn't even in regs, like he didn't fit the Metro PD police regs with his facial hair, with his tattoos on his neck. There's a lot of things. It says that he was never a police officer and he wasn't within regulations. So why was he in uniform and why was he pushing those narratives?
Hey, Don.
Hey,
Hey,
Dawn.
Carol. You
Hey,
work
Carol.
away while you get dinner ready, sweetie.
Driving y'all home from a long day at work. Well, be safe out there.
Yes.
There we go.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right.
Obviously, there's a lot about DC.
Yeah, clearly there's a lot about DC. Janine Pirro says people are afraid to come to Washington, D.C.
And Mike says the Capitol Police opened the fence and invited the protesters to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did.
Sure enough.
Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
Also, some violent crime is down. Why now? Why now? Because, it may be down, but the question is always down from what? If we had the 4th largest highest homicide rate in the country 2 years ago, all of a sudden it goes down. People want to pat themselves on the back. No way. Talk to any of the crime victims. I was just at a college a couple weeks ago where I had photos of young kids who were victims of homicides, of shootings, and it happens over and over again. It's not okay because it's down from last year. It's bad. This is the nation's capital. This is a shining city on the hill. We're not going to tolerate it. People are afraid to come to this city.
Thoughts?
People are afraid to come to the city. Michael Fanone. That's the guy.
Again, like I said, puss.
I got to share this image first before we go on to anything else. But the thing
Me
is,
too, Don. I love the judge.
yeah, Janine Pirro is awesome. I really like Judge Janine. All right, yeah, this guy with the neck tattoo, with the beard that's out of regulations, like
The actor.
Well, and I think that was one of the things we ended up finding out too is that he's actually listed as an actor.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Miss Angie.
Hey, Ange, thanks for joining. So yeah, they can tell you all the things that they want to tell you, but people know that they don't want to go down to DC because it's not as safe as they want us to believe. It's all lies. But that's the thing is more and more people are awake. They're hip to the lies that the legacy media is, spouting off. And so, you know what? People just won't do what they want people to do, which is, they want to make it sound like DC safe. People just ain't going to go to DC.
It's not safe.
Yeah, it's not safe. I don't think it is. I wouldn't want to go down there right now.
No.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. Former colleagues Getz and Burchett complain about, quote, dull hellhole, end quote, that DC has become.
Boy, Liberty's just all over the place. He's on YouTube. He's on Facebook.
What's up,
he's
Liberty?
on Bill.
He's everywhere.
Let's listen.
All right, let's listen.
And I remember being embarrassed when people from my district, maybe on their first trip to our nation's capital, expected splendor and beauty. And there was a homeless encampment and some guy peeing on the Smithsonian Museum. And that's not even hyperbole. I saw that. And so, like, there will be some who will say this is some great violation of home rule, that for those of us who always want to push local control, that this is hypocrisy. But I don't know, Tim. I think there's something different about the Capitol. I think that it's okay for every American to have a vested interest in their capital city being safe and beautiful and a positive representation of the country. But will we hear the home rule concerns?
I think you will, but it's what Reagan called it, that bright, shining city on a hill. And it is a dull hellhole. I mean, it smells like human waste. It's just you come off the interstate. I hadn't been there, I think, since maybe I was in the safety patrols in the 70s. And it was pretty cool back then. They'd turn you loose, a group of kids, 5 kids, and say, walk around the city.
It was great before crack. Before crack, DC was terrific.
Yeah, it was great. But you get off the interstate, what's the first thing you see? A bunch of tents. I mean, who are these people camping? It's a bunch of homeless people. And then you see a shopping cart off the side. You see some guy throwing up. You see some guy going to the bathroom off the curb. You see those crazy scooters crashed and trashed out everywhere.
All right.
Thoughts?
All right. So, I mean, obviously they're kind of spilling the beans here. There's homeless encampments. Smells like San Francisco because people are acting like it's San Francisco. DC was a beautiful place. It really was. It was, something to behold. But the feeling in DC has gotten worse and worse. And it's not like anybody's ever said during any time that I can remember, oh, yeah, DC is a great place. It's safe. It's clean. I don't think I've ever really heard that. So for them to try to say that, that DC has no problems is absolutely disingenuous and 100% a lie because it hasn't gotten any better. Yeah, exactly, Calberry. He should go to Oakland. Yeah, go to Oakland. Here's F. Clyn. Yo, what's up, F. Clyn?
F. Clyn!
Yeah, San Francisco was a beautiful place before, too.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
Then hippies.
Then, no. Pelosi and
Pelosi
Newsom
and Co.
And you have the next.
The arrest figures one?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started here. All right. The arrest figures are in for the first night of Trump's federalized DC police. Let's see what happened. Long story short, right here. The newly federalized Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department made 23 arrests Monday evening. The first night of the city's police force has been under federal government control. Who was involved? President Trump, Secretary Caroline Leavitt, the Metropolitan Police Department, and DC criminals. So they were making some arrests last night. Let's see. Okay, so according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, those arrested face charges including homicide.
There is a video.
Firearms offenses, possession with intent to distribute narcotics, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, possession of a high-capacity magazine, operating a vehicle without a permit, driving under the influence, and reckless driving. The crime crackdown comes as Washington, D.C. continues to see homicide rates outpace many other major U.S. cities, including New York City. Additionally, residents in the capital have faced a continued spree of carjackings, which have often resulted in the death or injury of the victim. Yeah. No, we don't need any help there at all.
Approximately 850 officers and agents were surged across the city. They made a total of 23 arrests, including multiple other contacts. Last night, these arrests consisted of homicide, firearms offenses, possession with intent to distribute narcotics, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, possession of a high-capacity magazine, fleeing to elude in a vehicle, no permits, driving under the influence, reckless driving, and a bench warrant. A total of 6 illegal handguns were seized off of District of Columbia streets as part of last night's effort. This is only the beginning.
There we go. All right. So that makes perfect sense. That's that those are the kinds of things that are getting picked up there. It sounds like that good things are happening because of the actions taken by President Trump. Little Lunker says, "Hey friends, we have a prayer request for Joe and his wife Teresa. She took a pill for coughing and has had a horrible allergic reaction. Oh no. We need a miracle, please, and thank you."
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Heavenly
let us pray.
Father, we come before you as this wonderful family, and we ask that you not only look over Teresa and Joe, but also little Levi, and just wrap your loving arm around them, because we know that you are our ultimate physician. Please give them the strength and let them know that you are right there with them. In your son Yeshua's name we pray. Amen.
All right, there we go. All right, good. Thank you very much. All right, so let's see. The video, covered a whole bunch of stuff there in terms of the actual arrests that have been made. What'd she say? 5 or 6 illegal firearms, something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I'm sure that more and more will be found out, although more than likely with the tough crackdown, it might push some of these people outside of the city of DC, in which case then it's going to be on Maryland and the Virginia state, the towns that surround it. But we'll see how it all works out. But if nothing else, they got to clean up DC first. But I also think that some of it's a little bit of cover for when arrests are actually going to be made. How many of these people aren't going to show up? How many of them are going to try to pull what the Democrats did out in Texas and say, we're not showing up so that way you can't have a quorum, when in all actuality, this time around in DC, it might be because some of these people are going to get some legal actions otherwise placed against them. So we'll see how it all turns out.
We shall, won't we?
We shall. All right. So
You have the next.
the Atlantic, in the effort of trying to speak both sides of the argument here, at the Atlantic, the president's police state. I love the language. Trump is delivering the authoritarian government his party once warned about. Well, I mean, you kind of got to do something to counteract all the crap that we've had to deal with. For years, prominent voices on the right argued that Democrats were enacting a police state. They labeled everything a report on homegrown extremism, IRS investigation into nonprofits. Well, yeah, actually, look at those scenarios, but fine, whatever. A sign of impending authoritarianism, measures taken by state governments to combat the spread of COVID, tyranny, an FBI search of Mar-a-Lago, the weaponization of law enforcement. I mean, they all look like SWAT officers now anymore. Whatever. Anyways, just ignore the reality that's there. Anyways, so continuing on. Now that a president is actually sending federal troops and officers out into the streets of the nation's cities, however, the right is in
city. One.
Well, no,
city.
because they did the National Guard out in LA.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, that doesn't matter that there were, full blown loss of control, whatever. So continue on. However, the right is in lockstep behind him. This morning, Donald Trump announced that he was declaring a crime emergency, temporarily seizing control of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department and deploying the D.C. National Guard to the nation's capital. And then they're going to want me to pay for anything beyond that.
See what Silver said.
Let's see. No, I did not. I go back. Okay. Yes, Santino, it's to prepare for high profile arrests. And I really think that that's a lot of where this is headed. that there's going to be some high profile arrests coming up soon. It certainly scares some people. And I think some of it's designed to get those who have been committing this treason against the country to recognize that they don't have the control that they thought they once had. Now, if you've been paying attention and you saw that the marshals were following Nancy Pelosi around and Hunting Boy's daughter, former vice president
Liz Cheney.
Yeah, Dick Cheney's daughter, Liz Cheney. There was a wrong, or there was that video that looked like the marshals were following them around, telling her, "Don't say anything." It was kind of a funny video. So
Well, that was Nancy and Liz talking to each other. Don't
Yeah,
say
it was.
anything.
Yeah, don't say anything. So, anyways, down here, Cal Bear says, us right wingers are always in lockstep. Yeah, that's what they want everybody to think, huh? Or it's just that we actually share
lesbians.
principles, and that is that crime is bad. Police officers do good things, and that police officers aren't necessarily always going to be like a child daycare kind of teacher to people who are carrying around illegal weapons, illegal drugs, doing all the things, carjackings, et cetera. Those are things that need to be dealt with. And it's not going to be
Imagine
dealt with in a way. We wouldn't be in this scenario had we not had the defund the police crap that was going on.
Yeah.
Just throwing that one out there. And I think that that's that is the cause for this effect. If they don't like it, don't get rid of the police, and certainly stop picking all the police officers who seem to agree with that are only in lockstep with those on the left.
Exactly.
Because our police forces
But-
shouldn't be politicized. They should be there for the law.
And not only this, they're sitting there talking about defund the police, but at the same time, walk around with bodyguards with weapons.
Yeah, they got bodyguards with automatic weapons,
Yeah.
and they live behind gates with walls and
Yeah.
electric fences, et cetera, et cetera. It's different for them though, because they are such important people, and that's why they got elected, because they're so important.
Oh, okay. I think
Mike
I'm gonna throw
says
up.
Abraham Lincoln signed the Insurrection Act and abolished habeas corpus. He used the military to arrest governors and mayors that were agents of or against the country. Yes. Yeah, Obama built that. That's exactly what happened. Obama built the defund the police program, and we're seeing the effects of it. Steph says, I believe you might see that coming, Mike. I think that people are going to get snatched up, that high profile arrests are going to be made. Do you think history is going to repeat? And then Mike says, yes. Dems major in hypocrisy. Yeah, that's
They do.
certainly a degree that I didn't know about.
Right.
So do I think that habeas corpus is going to be suspended? Maybe in certain cities. But I don't think it's going to be a nationwide thing. I think it's going to be wherever there's going to be real problems. But who knows where that's going to be. But I also think that a lot of people have had the wind taken out of their sails in terms of their desire to cause problems, because isn't it amazing, once President Trump said you throw bricks and rocks at our police officers, that they're going to snatch you up and bring you to jail, and you will be charged for attempted homicide. And then all of a sudden people stop throwing bricks and rocks at the police cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, the everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit, and it's time to do gangster stuff, and it stopped. So I don't think that there's going to be as much let's see, mass civil disobedience. I think that it's still going to be just a few people, because they got nothing to lose, because they already know that their goose is cooked. I really think that it's going to be so few people, because people don't want to put their life on the line for something that they're not going to get anything out of, and they were getting notoriety, and now they can go to jail for that. And that's a different story altogether. Changes your tune when, you got to pay the piper. Silver says, Obama was born and bred to take down America. Boy, it certainly seems like that from the day he was born. Barry Sotero is not a friend of this nation.
No. He's not. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
All righty.
Some of you need to stop listening to stupid, foolish idiots on the internet. Because some of you, you don't want to hear what God says. You want someone to echo what you think. A teacher is not supposed to echo you. A teacher is supposed to echo him. And some of you, you need to just stop listening. You need to stop subscribing. You need to stop considering what they have to say. Consider their way of life and the outcome of their faith. And if they are not growing in Christ likeness and encouraging others to do the same, then you need to cut them off, because ultimately they will corrupt you. And we just live in a day when any buffoonery gets a platform.
I think he's talking about the left. Thoughts?
Oh, I think he could be talking about people like us, and I'm all right with that. That's his judgment. I know that we try to talk about the news. We try to make it so that we, present the news in a manner where faith actually plays a part in this. Also, considering other perspectives than the main narrative that the left puts out there all the time. I think it's good to be informed, but to assume that people that are going to be doing all of this informing, that they're going to be Christ followers, is going to be a challenge. And that's only because the news doesn't care. The news is supposed to care about the information that's happening. Do we try to put God in all of this? Yes. Do we try to keep a positive spin on it? Yes. Do we say that nothing bad is going to happen? No, but we try to keep positive, and that's just mostly because of all of the Chicken Little that we've been hearing from every side. Yet, what has truly happened? The worst things that have happened have been trains that nobody has any control over. There's been a couple of other incidents like that. But I'm going to say that for the most part, God has certainly put a hedge of protection over this country, and things could have been a lot worse. And people are leaving peacefully that were here illegally. So how do you stay informed? Well, you don't have to be informed, especially if it's going to bring you to a lower vibrational frequency, bring your energy down. That's not a good thing. Then it's time to take a break. And when the news starts to feel heavy and it feels like it's taken over your life, then it's time to take a step away. We had to take a step away. It gets really heavy dealing with all of this stuff all the time. And so we have to reset and we have to refocus, and reset and refocusing is on your life, your connection with your creator, and trying to make sure that your children and your family, close family, are working on that connection with God. And so always try to keep God as the center of your life. But it is nice to be aware of what's going on. Hey, Carol, howdy.
Howdy.
Mike the Madman. Hey, Mike the Madman, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. Hope says, I'm believing my born day is going to be amazing this year. October 28th, 2025. And also Q's born day. Q will be 8-year plan. We won't talk about my age, grandma age.
We won't ask.
Not going to ask.
We
Anyways,
won't ask.
yeah, if somebody or some show or anything, and that includes us, makes you feel like you're getting pulled away from God, then by all means, your connection with your creator is significantly more important than anything that we can do here. Yeah, it's not worth it.
You ready?
Yes.
Would you read that, please?
All righty. Let's see what do we got here. Skeleton key scandal. What did the Pope know, and when did he know it? Oh, I'm curious now.
Let's listen.
All right.
How close does this get to Pope Leo? Because in a world in which what is being alleged is true, and there's this big money laundering operation, and people are self-dealing and have money in all their private accounts, there's no way that did not overlay substantially on the selection of the new Pope. Right?
Well, absolutely. And the new Pope was working in the Vatican for the last 2 years. He knew about this scandal. He clearly knew. And he was brought in, Matt. He was going to be the American who was going to open up the wallets of all the rich Americans who had been criticizing Francis. Well, let me tell you, if they don't get to the bottom of this immediately, the Vatican Bank is going to be blacklisted. which means that the international community will not allow them to do anything but run cash in and out of the Vatican ATMs. That's
Wow.
it. This is
Wow.
a scandal. This is a scandal, really. You know, you remember Operation Gladio and the Bank Abranziano scandal.
Yeah.
This is laid at Leo's feet. He should have dealt with it within the first week, in my opinion, knowing that, you know, this has been on the front page of the Italian papers. Maloney is respected by the financial community. His statement holds a great deal of weight. This is a bombshell. And the Vatican said it's not true. We could never do this, but we'll see.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that with the allegations made, there's going to be a release of the receipts, and there's going to be a ledger that is going to be able to be produced.
Thoughts?
So I know that I've heard, and this is even from people who don't believe in a single conspiracy theory, don't like the Vatican Bank. The way the Vatican Bank works, it certainly makes everything a lot more secret, and it makes it a little bit easier for them to hide any kind of shenanigans that they do because they're running their own private bank. It must be nice, but now that some allegations are coming out, again, there's more chips in the armor to the swamp creature that is. And it's not all of the Catholic Church, not by any means. Don't take this that way. But when they have their own bank, and with as many allegations and problems that the Vatican Church, or that the Catholic Church has had, it allows more of an opportunity for indiscretions to be swept under the rug, as opposed to forcing the church to confront the issues that it has, so that way it can do more church kind of things, as opposed to keep things quiet kind of things. So this is the fact that this is even being talked about, I think is a tremendous step forward, and we'll see how far it goes. Getz seemed to be kind of optimistic about the fact that since we've heard about these bribe corruption kind of charges, that more is going to come out, and that will certainly be interesting. A lot of people are going to have to relook at everything in life if the credibility of the church is besmirched in such a manner. Yeah, a ledger produced. Yeah, I know. That's that's something else. Yeah, I know a lot of people truly believe the Vatican is corrupt. I believe there's corrupt elements in it, but I don't think it's the entirety of the Vatican itself. I do believe. Let's see, we had what's his name, Blaze TV, Glenn Beck. He was talking about one of the times that he visited the Vatican, and he made it seem like that there were definitely different sides inside the Vatican, and it was something like an energy that you could feel between different people. That's pretty solid statement, and it tells me that there is light and dark inside the Catholic Church. But really, if you think about it, is there much of a surprise with that? Where would the devil want to go? And it seems like it would be a fertile battleground for God and the devil, to me. But I firmly believe that the Catholic Church will be fine on the back end of this, and maybe a lot of those swamp creatures that found their way inside of that church will be removed, which would be great for everybody. That's just my thoughts.
You have the next one, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. So what do we got here? It's Tucker. All right. Here we go. Christian nun. Ted Cruz's Christian Zionism is killing Christians in the Holy Land. Interesting.
Why do American Christian churches send money to a government that does this to Christians?
Well, I think the ones that send money that support the settlements are obviously the Christian Zionists. There's an organization called Christians United for Israel, Pastor John Hagee. I was in Washington a few weeks ago because, they had a conference in Baltimore. So it's slowly growing an awareness by other Christians in America that, just like many Jews are protesting and saying, not in our name, and the Jewish Voice for Peace, there has to be much more done by the Christians in America, because these Christian Zionists are speaking in our name. Someone like Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz, is saying and doing what he's doing because he's following a Christianity that is not the Christianity of the Holy Land. It's not the Christianity of a Catholic or an Orthodox or a traditional Christian. It's a heretical belief.
What is Christian Zionism?
As far as I understand it, they believe in the idea of the rapture. They believe that it's sort of this cruel bargain they have going with Israel, because basically what they say that they're going to be swooped up into heaven, right? And then there's going to be 1,000-year kingdom, and then there'll be the end of the world and the judgment by Christ, and he'll come back. This is a false. It was condemned as a heresy in 381. Because basically there is no 1,000-year millennium to come, no 1,000-year period. The end we are in that time period now. And so it's a false belief there. And
so basically what they're arguing is that Jesus coming the first time wasn't enough.
Yeah. And it's like, in a way, it's denying the Messiah. As an Orthodox Christian, the most important thing in my life is that we receive the body and blood of Christ, and we prepare ourselves to receive that body because Christ came as God and as man. And if you read John, it's actually 6:66, first he says, "Take, eat, this is my body, and drink, this is my blood." And many of people that heard the saying and found it to be a hard saying and turned away from him.
Yes.
So everybody was Jewish then, right? But some believed and some didn't. And some continued to follow only the law. And some said, and Christ superseded the law. He said, there's something more than that law. I am the law. I fulfill the law and the prophets. We believe in the Feast of the Transfiguration on Mount Tabor. It takes place near Nazareth. I've been there many times. And in our icons, in our images, you see Moses and you see Elijah aside Jesus, because the law and the prophets have been fulfilled in Jesus Christ. He came and said, I'm the church, I'm your salvation. And what I think often about is where I lived in the Mount of Olives, St. Mary Magdalene Convent. Right above it is a Catholic monastery called Dominus Flavit, Christ wept. It's where Christ wept. And I think of it often now because, to some degree with Muslims, to a lesser degree, because they retain some of the Christian sensibility, but he's weeping over the people that didn't see him, that didn't understand who he was. And so they follow only the law. And I think that's why you see these are people that can somehow justify allowing for the starvation and ethnic cleansing of so many people. Because think of the stories from the Gospels where Christ heals the man with the withered hand.
Yes.
And he's looking behind him are the Pharisees, and he's grieved at their hardness of heart because he was healing, doing a work on the Sabbath day. And that was against the law. And so now these Christians of wrong believe that they need to rebuild the temple as part of their plan. So they believe that the current state of Israel, which has nothing to do with the biblical Israel, is needed to be built up so that then somehow they can restore and build that temple, fulfill an obligation of the law. And the price of that, they're willing to forego the compassion that Christ talked about and allow people to be starved and wiped out. And Christians in America have to understand that you're allowing both people who support the state of Israel, who are Jewish, and those Christians who think they're doing something in the name of Christ when it's far from the name of Christ, and it's actually causing the end of the Christian population in the Holy Land. It's going to be, the numbers have dwindled. Now we're getting to the small thousands. I just received a call the other day. Jacob's Well is in the large city of Nablus, in the center of the West Bank, which has been grievously, raids take place all the time, and it's very difficult. But what happened the other day was that a Christian-run factory. In Nablus, there's about 600 families, around 600 Christians, number of churches, and Jacob's Well, which is a very important site to us. We always go there on a pilgrimage when we can. And their factory, no warning, no permit. First, on June 26th, I believe, the Israeli army came in and confiscated some of the factory equipment. And then 2 weeks later, they came and blew up a big portion of the factory. So how are people supposed to have? They gave no reason. There was no permit. They have They have lawyers. There has been, as far as I know, to this date, no court order, no reason. And the only thing, I mean, quickly what popped into my head, because it is a metal making factory. Okay, they must be using it to make weapons, right? These are Christians who have been there for decades, the centuries, I think, even the family. And it's a well-known business. All right. And no order was given. And I almost feel a little worry about saying anything, because I don't know what the repercussions will be with that family, because they have no recourse.
Okay. I think we've had enough. Unless y'all wanted some more. I like Tucker, but man, Tucker was just letting this nun
she
go about saying
Yeah.
things that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I
I want to know Mike's question. Is she saying Christians need to be woke?
see, that's kind of what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That's what I was understanding. Hold on. I
Yeah.
gotta
And
do
see,
some.
Chad got the same thing.
Let's see.
What was that?
How's this
Jenny!
Jenny!
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny. That's
Watch
the
out for the
question.
frogs, Jenny.
That's the question we're trying to figure out, Jenny. What was that? Was that a shim? Was that a we don't know. We don't know, Jenny. Oh, wise Jenny, can you figure it out for us?
The comments.
Yeah.
The comments aren't very helpful. Those comments were probably those comments were probably removed.
I
because
agree,
it's-
Liberty. Oh, and by the way,
That's
Jenny,
strange.
Angie, Miss Hope Dealer, is a grandma.
You used
But
to like
anyway.
Tucker Butt?
Tucker butt. He liked Tucker butt.
She's not the same kind of Christian I am. She sounds like a Muslim communist. And that was one of the other comments. Some of the comments on there, it doesn't seem like the same kind of Christian.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a monk. No, it said none.
Did it really?
That was the headline from Tucker.
She's got a bigger mustache than you do.
I mean, whatevs. Wow. So yeah, that's whew. All right. We should probably move on and wash our brains out with something else.
Okay. You ready?
Play it again.
Play it again.
I think-
I'll send it
I
to
thi-
Silver
I think the
Gal.
link is available.
No, I didn't get.
You didn't get the
I
links
didn't get
done
the
today?
links done today.
Okay.
But I will email it to Silver so that Cal Bear can watch it over and over and laugh his booty off.
Hmm.
Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready now.
Okay. Would you read that, please?
Sweetly. All right. Here's a perspective about how God elevates us.
I agree, Mike. New Age Christianity. Let's listen.
When God wants to elevate you, He often takes you through 3 steps. Step number 1, pruning. He starts cutting things off. Relationships, habits, opportunities, not to punish you, but to position you. What you're losing isn't rejection, it's redirection. Step 2, a call to obedience. And this is the hard part. He'll ask you to let go, to forgive, to walk by faith and not by sight. And yes, it won't always make sense, but your obedience is what unlocks the next level. Step 3, sudden elevation. After pruning and obedience comes the breakthrough. The door opens, the promotion hits, the blessing flows all at once. But it's not sudden to God. He's been preparing you the whole time. So humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time. That's Peter 5:6. If this message spoke to you, share it with the first person God places on your heart.
Thoughts?
All right. So, love the message that she was saying there. Although I will say she said that it happens all at once. And I would say that
I disagree.
I disagree about that. Yes, it does happen in that process that she was talking about, but I would say that it happens lots of little times over and over again, therefore leading us to that thing that it is that we are seeking. Like she was saying, that big promotion or whatever. It's a process, and it's a repeating process to go through each and every time. And we just got to make sure that we are trying to turn to God all of the time, and we have to trust in the process that God is going out of his way to change us so that we can receive the blessings that we do ask for. He did. He put in 2 days ago. Fingers crossed. Amen. It will get good. I know it'll get good. I'm glad to hear that the date went well.
Yes, because we love you both so very much.
We do. Y'all are amazing.
Yes, you are. Just know that we're always here for you, and you can call anytime.
Hey, Chops, what's going on, man?
All right.
All right.
Are you ready for some Kelly?
Yeah, I'm ready for Kelly.
Let's listen.
All righty.
If I can get my
if we can kind of do the thing.
Idols don't have to be bad to be deadly. It just has to be in God's place. Let's go. The devil is slick, my friends. He's not going to tempt you with a pitchfork and fire. He'll tempt you with a blessing. A good thing, but with the wrong motive. I'll show you. Marriage is not bad, but if it's your identity, that's an idol. Ministry, that's noble. But if it's your worth, that's an idol. Your kids, your dream, your platform, your grind, your purpose. Those are all good things. But if they sit where God should, then they're just golden calves dressed in church clothes. And do you want to know what the scariest part is? Most idols just look like answers to prayers. I mean, come on. That's why we cling to them. And that's why we justify them. That's why we're scared to let them go. But here's the truth, my friends. God is not sharing his throne. Not with your boyfriend, not with your bank account, not even with your ambition. God's not asking to be your favorite. He's demanding to be your only. Look, Abraham loved Isaac. God gave him Isaac as a gift. But then God said, lay him on the altar. But why would God ask that? Because even God's gift can become your God if you hold it tighter than you hold it. So let me encourage you today. For something to be an idol in your life, it doesn't necessarily have to be evil. It just has to be first. So I say we ask ourselves a question today. What's sitting on the throne of my heart? And if you realize it ain't Jesus, tear it down. Tear it down. You know, before he does. And think about that for a minute.
I always say God, self, spouse, and then everything else.
Mm-hmm. And that's the proper order. You know, God, self, spouse, then everything else. It is God, and it can these things that are in our lives can easily overtake that position and get turned into an idol, and that's what we need to learn how to let go of. We can't have anything take the place of God, and we may be feeling like we're doing something for God, but that doesn't mean that that's actually what's going on. It's what is most important in your life, and whom are you trying to please? You know, if you're trying to please God, that's one thing. But if you're trying to cookies can be an idol. Sorry,
Cookies
Cowbear.
Cookies can be an idol,
cookies, yeah.
Cowbear.
The country can be an
take-
idol.
Silver, take the cookies away from Cowbear.
Yeah.
Until he knows that he can't worship them.
You can't worship the cookies or the ice cream. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, God, family, country. Amen. It's these are the important things, but it's always God at the
Yes,
top
Mike.
of the list. Yes, your spouse does come before your kids.
Because you're supposed to cleave to your spouse. Your children leave you.
And yeah, like you were supposed to do, you were supposed to leave your parents and cleave to your spouse. And your children should be ready to leave you and cleave to their spouse. It's kind of the order of things. But not only that, your spouse is the one who's going to be there when both of your eyesight fails. You know, unless you're a multi-billionaire, then you don't have to worry about anybody's eyesight because they're just worried about your
I
paycheck.
mean, your spouse may be the one who wipes your bootay.
Right. So, yeah.
Happens.
Make sure that we keep God at the top of the list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, you and your spouse are one. Amen.
Amen, Mike.
Amen.
Amen. I see he loves his cookies, but
Clearly.
gotta love God more.
Mm-hmm.
And they should come after you, Silver.
Well, obviously the whole God concept was misplaced over there by your spouse, would be my guess. I have no idea, because he asks us to forgive and forgive and forgive.
Yep.
70 times 7.
There you go, Steph.
There we go. Yep, I have an empty house. All of mine have left. Them gone with their spouses. There you go. And food twins.
Ice cream.
Yeah, I got you.
You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. Oh God, CNN.
Mhm.
CNN reports inflation numbers look amazing for things people actually care about.
We're on CNN corner right now for the next few videos.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
When you look at the key categories that we always look at, energy, food, and shelter, energy fell by 1.1%. That was largely driven because of gas prices falling in the month of July by 2.2%. Look at that food. I mean, this is where people spend their money, right? Food every single day. Food flat, 0%, and actually down at the grocery store by 0.1%. And then shelter, we always usually see an increase because that is what people are paying on rent. And we know that rents are rising.
Thoughts?
All right. So, I mean, it's the prices.
It's killing them telling the truth.
It is killing them telling the truth. Those are the things. I mean, really, if you think about it, what's everybody spending their money on? Food, rent, electricity, gas, water. Those are the things that people only have money for, and they do need to drop. And they need to drop significantly more than they have. But that's kind of the market correction that so many people are looking for right now. Yeah. Did she say always, usually? It sounds like something they'd say on the news.
Yeah.
Let's see. Steph says, I haven't seen but a few things come down. Eggs, milk, not meat yet. No, not yet. But the things that the press has been whining about are going to be all of those imports, like those, let's see, the Rolex watches. They took a real hit once everybody found out those things are actually made in China. It's all the stuff that's coming from overseas, and that's generally not our necessities. Right now, most people are just on the bare necessities.
Yeah.
So it's kind of transparent to a lot of people. Yeah, things need to get better, but things have to change a little bit more. But things are dropping just a little bit, and as we're waiting for all of the dominoes to start falling, once those start falling, then I have a feeling that there's going to be some real changes real fast, because there won't be so many impediments or people impeding progress in this nation, so that way they can win the Team Blue prize or whatever it is they're shooting for. Steph says, either way, they need to come down with the prices go up with our pay. Something's got to give. Well, and it's honestly the dollar. The dollar is the problem. It is funny money, and it constantly changes in terms of the purchasing power. Keep this in mind. Gold is at what, $3,400 an ounce right now?
Yeah.
A $20 gold piece used to be an ounce.
Yeah.
When we went off the gold standard, that's what screwed everything up and made it more difficult.
Now.
Well, yeah, we got funny money, but that's what makes it more difficult for people to understand inflation.
Yeah.
And it's done that way by design. And that's another reason why President Trump wants to end the Fed. He's not the only one that wants to end the Fed. I think pretty much every American's sick and tired of the Fed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sea Strike says our gas prices dropped here $2.69. It's looking good.
We're at $3.66 for regular. Silver says our gas is below $5 now. Singing that song Bare Necessity. Yep.
Bare Necessity.
Liberty says $2.49. Mike was singing with Steph. There you go. Chad says it's $34.01.40.
$3,401.40.
The gold price. Baby.
Oh, okay. So we're at 34. Thank you. I was thinking, well, it sounds about right for the gas prices out here in the West, but whatever.
No, remember Chad's in Minnesota.
Yeah. I was just thinking about our gas prices. It certainly feels like $3,400 a gallon.
It's $3.66.
Close enough.
Yeah. You have the next one.
I got the next one?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What do we got here? CNN analyst admits that, there we go. CNN analyst admits Donald Trump has the best political instincts he's ever seen. Look at that. Look at that. All right. And then there's these stupid ads, and for some reason, it's not showing anything. Let me refresh this. Oh, Lord have mercy. What do we have going on here? Oh, well, that's interesting.
Keep going down.
The
video might be.
No, there's no.
Right there.
Okay, well, Lord have mercy. We're probably gonna have some
Watch
stupid
what
ad.
hydrogen peroxide actually
Okay,
does to
well,
your
we can
teeth
mute
and gums
that.
when you're struggling with
Well,
dental issues.
oh my
The Mayo
gosh, how you
Clinic
have
confirms
string underneath your tooth?
What if your joint pain
Oh,
isn't
God.
from age, isn't
Wow.
from wear and tear,
Advertisements.
from something your doctor?
There are new numbers this morning showing something of a shift in how Americans are feeling about this. Harry Anton, here to help. What are you seeing in these numbers?
Yeah, I would say that this is, from at least a political point of view, quickly turning into a dud of a story. What am I talking about here?
Which is wild.
Which
to
is
think,
wild. Which
where
is
this has been for 3 weeks. now.
exactly. Take a look here. Google searches for Epstein down 89% versus just 3 weeks ago, falling through the floor. It is no longer the top term searched alongside Donald Trump's name. That's been trading off between Taros and Vladimir Putin, with obviously the meeting coming up later this week. But at this particular point, the American people's interest in this story, it's quickly becoming something of a nothing burger.
So out of sight, out of mind, maybe is
Yeah.
applying here a little bit, but has it impacted? Have you seen numbers that have impacted Trump's popularity, favorability, anything?
No, not really. I mean, take a look here. Let's take a look at the overall numbers. Trump's approval rating in July of 2025, it was 45%. It's still well within that margin of error here at 44%. And you compare that to where he was in his first term at this point, he was at 37%. So he's 7 points higher, very much in a different political universe now, significantly higher in terms of his overall approval rating than he was at this point in his first term. And more than that, among Republicans, his approval rating is near a record high, hovering right at about that 90% mark. So no, he hasn't lost any of that base. And when it comes to that center of the electorate, he's basically holding on there. And his overall approval rating, 44%, is pretty gosh darn good for him, considering where he was at this point in term number one.
What do you think is behind it? Why there hasn't been more movement?
Yeah, why hasn't there been more movement? I think this is pretty simple. Take a look here. Nation's top issue is the Epstein case. This is the number of respondents. This isn't the percentage of respondents. This is the number of respondents. In our last CNN poll, look at this. 0 respondents said that the Epstein case was the top issue. How about among independents? 0 independents said that. And among Republicans, and therefore overall, just a single one. So yes, there used to be a lot of interest in this story, but the bottom line is that even amongst those who had high interest in this story, it wasn't something that they thought was all that important. And as I said at the beginning, the interest in this story has fallen off the table.
Which also, when you look at this and you compare it to just the attention that Capitol Hill was giving it, Donald Trump supporters were giving it, congressional committees were giving it, it is incongruous.
I would just say this. Donald Trump has some of the best political instincts of any politician I've seen. And on this particular issue, you see it full well and clear, because he has been saying, you know, this is not an issue. And it turns out that a lot of the American public actually seem to agree with him.
If you dream it, it will.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
mine. Yeah. All right. Thank you for doing that.
Thoughts?
All right. So, yeah, there's it's CNN and their numbers. The fact that they said that only one person actually cares about Epstein sounds absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
And even to say that there was only one person that felt that it was at the top of their priority list doesn't sound right either. It's something people care about. Yes, Putin and Ukraine is very important. Are we getting into Ukraine a little bit later? No. Okay. So just real quick, I had seen an article where they say that only 24% of Ukrainians support continued military operations against Russia. The people are ready to give up on that. And so really, we're just waiting to see what happens with this meeting with Trump and Putin and maybe Zelensky. It's got to play out. So how are we supposed to really believe anything that the numbers tell us when it's from a group of people who've spent how long lying to us about the numbers in order to try to make the news fit their narrative? They have their narrative and they say it over and over again. And with the corruption that is in lockstep, since that's a term that the left likes to use so much. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
they do.
understand that. So since the corrupt people are in lockstep with the media, like CNN, it makes it so that way they can drive what people think is going on. More and more people are waking up to that. Also, it tells me, we're not hearing the numbers. It used to be that whenever you had polling, they'd tell you the specific question. They would tell you any canned responses that they had put out there. Like, are you in favor, neutral or against, and the specific verbiage that they would use. They washed all of the real data away, so that way you can't even understand what the specific question was, how was it worded, and what are people responding to, how many people responded, what was the cross section. We don't get any of that information. Back when the polls were trustworthy, they used to give us that information. And the day that they stopped giving us all of the background information as to what the poll specifically said, who specifically was spoken to, and what the responses were specifically, we couldn't trust them anymore. But then again, Dewey defeated Truman.
Supposedly.
Yeah. So anyway, Steph says, yeah, that war is over. They just don't know it yet, but they will soon. I think most people know that.
Yeah.
I think most people know that war is over. It's not been looking good for the Zelensky regime over there.
No, it hasn't. Thank you, Angie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ange.
You ready?
Yeah.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right. Scott Jennings just steamrolled an unhinged leftist claiming Trump hasn't mediated 7 conflicts.
Let's listen.
Well, I guess we'll hear the reality of this one soon.
I know. I love Scott Jennings.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The president has solved like 7 conflicts this year. I'm willing to give him some latitude to talk to Vladimir Putin and break the deadlock and try to move us toward a place where the killing comes to an end, because I think that's what we should all be praying for.
He actually hasn't solved 7 conflicts. There's been a lot of talk about that.
What
And there's some
reality do
questions,
you
but
live in?
I
He's
live in-
literally
I live
got
on
these
Earth
guys in the
One,
White
where
House
they-
where they're
no,
signing
listen.
documents and shaking
Yeah,
hands.
signing
Acknowledge
documents and
the
shaking
man
hands,
is solving
and
peace.
India
and-
questioned about whether that was
I mean,
an actual
it
deal.
happens on
Like,
almost a weekly
it's
basis.
Just, all, a
Just
lot of pomp and
acknowledge it.
circumstance
Just
all the
acknowledge it.
time. And I will also acknowledge
Unbelievable.
that Donald Trump
We
seems
reported
to
on
have
this network.
seems to have a affinity for Vladimir Putin in a way. No, you're not going to get away with calling me a
Lying.
liar. I know that's like the
He
line
doesn't
you
have
like
a
to throw
affinity for
out,
Vladimir
but I'm
Putin
not
now.
lying.
You're lying.
Nobody's lying about anything.
Sure
You're
you
all
are.
Somebody's pants are on fire, but it ain't Scott Jennings, because
No.
she sounds like she's full of hot air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's just that typical Jerry Springer style of communication. Talk over, talk louder. That makes me writer. So sick and tired of that. And they just keep having a panel of literally people I haven't seen on a CNN panel. Have you seen her before?
No.
Okay. It's like you get wrecked by Scott, you don't get to stick around. Is that what's going on over there?
I mean,
Is CNN? If you can stand up to Scott Jennings, you can stick around.
Yeah, exactly. She is such a liar.
Yeah,
there
those-
it is.
there it is.
Kitty.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Man, it's
Ugh.
funny. And didn't even get the chance to respond. See, the thing is when she says an untruth, she should allow Scott Jennings to say, defend your point. Because if she was confident in what she was saying, she'd be able to debunk everything that Scott Jennings says. That's why Scott Jennings was trying to debunk her lie. But she knew that if he was able to get the truth out, and if she shut her mouth, that she would end up being made to look like a fool. And so therefore she could only talk louder and prevent him from being able to present the truth. Everybody's sick and tired of this. I look forward to seeing her replacement.
Me too.
Are we ready? Oh,
It's being
doing things.
silly. It's doing silly things.
It's doing things over there. All right.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Computer's being computer. Yeah, I'm ready.
How about some Craig?
All right, I could go for some Craig.
Let's listen.
If you've been saved by Jesus, your sins have been forgiven, and you weren't just saved from, you were saved for. We say it again. You weren't just saved from, you were saved for. You weren't just saved from your sins, you were, but you were also saved for a purpose to live your life in a way that serves people and honors God.
Thoughts?
That is an excellent way to look at that. I have never heard that before. I wasn't saved from, I was saved for. The question is what are we saved for? And I think that the closer we draw to him, the more we find out what that is, and we should draw to that as much as possible. When we are saved, it is definitely for a reason. And man, that's such a much better, it's so much better of a way to look at that, to understand that we weren't saved merely for ourselves. We were saved for a reason to do something for him. Man, I love that. I really can't expand on that. Of course, I like Craig Groeschel a lot.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's great.
I know. He's really amazing. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right, here we go. President Trump has referred fire aid scandal in California to the Attorney General.
Let's listen.
All right.
You know that President Trump has responded to my request for an investigation and has referred it to the Attorney General. So I think that's a positive step. And donors and victims, for that matter, deserve answers as to where this money went. Because as you said, it was stated that this money would go directly to the victims. That's not what happened. It went to nonprofits. And some of these nonprofits, you look at who they are, they don't have anything to do with fire relief. There was one that was about voter registration and civic engagement that got money that was donated for the victims as part of this fire aid concert. So I think it needs to be looked at. I think that we need answers. And I think that we really need to get to the bottom of this to try to restore trust. When people give so generously and then the money doesn't go where it's intended, that's really harmful, and it undermines our ability to actually, get charitable contributions for worthy causes in the future.
Things are happening, Silver and Calbear.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I think that these will be some of the things that end up leading to a lot of arrests, a lot of cleaning house in the dirty state of California. It is so dirty out there. It's so... We as a nation forgot how to do charity the right way a long time ago. It used to be a much more focused effort by local churches who would provide
neighbors.
And neighbors to provide needed supplies and anything for people, like the Amish are doing out there in the Carolinas. They're still out there, as far as I understand, building homes for people. And that's what the charity is. Not this, let me just send some money so that way I don't have to spend my time or any energy and I can make myself feel better because I sent some money, without bothering to find out where that money's going. And so when we find out that there's voter registration charities that are receiving money, how is that going to help anybody? That's not going to, what's going to help them? Giving them a residence with which they can vote from those locations. It sounds like it's more of the same old kind of tactics, getting money to the people who have been screwing over the people that are from that place, so that way they can install a whole group of people that they, are just going to agree with their political perspective. And then I also noticed that it was popping up in there about how the redistricting fight is going on in Texas and California. And it would tell me that with this voter, registration charity out there for victims of the fire, it tells me that this is all part of that redistricting. Let's make everything blue, go team blue kind of crap. They keep doing it, don't they? They don't know when to let off the gas pedal. Praise be to God that they're too stupid to know when to quit.
I know.
Silver says, I can't wait to see our beloved state back to normal.
I agree.
I agree
Silver.
too. Yeah.
I agree. We love your state.
It
We
is a
really
beautiful
do.
state. I enjoyed Cali so much.
So much.
But we were also in, San Diego County.
Oceanside,
Or Riverside
29
County.
Palms.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there still needed some help out there.
yeah, but we still enjoyed it.
It's a beautiful state.
It's a beautiful
Yeah, don't
state.
knock it, everybody.
Yeah. You ready?
Plus, there's that what was it? We were watching church this weekend, the parable of the good Californian.
Yeah, the parable.
And instead of Samaritans, just replace it with Californians. We got to love them too.
I agree, Steph. I hope it happens soon.
Yeah, I pray it happens soon too.
Yeah, you ready?
Yes,
Would you read that, please?
certainly. Whistleblower fired for exposing scheme giving driver's licenses to illegal aliens at $200 each.
Let's listen.
The state didn't want this out. Fraud inside Kentucky's transportation cabinet. Licenses issued without a driver's test.
It is an ongoing WDRB investigation, and tonight we hear from a whistleblower who says coworkers used her login to pull off this scheme.
The employees were being paid underneath the table.
They say sometimes
I need to let my supervisor know about it.
truth hurts.
Did you ever think that this would cost you your job?
No,
And for Melissa Moorman,
I was angry for a long time.
this is one of those.
It hurts me that I'm talking about this and I actually like where I was working at.
Times.
I came into the office that day. My computer was shut down. I was told to go to the front door. Detectives came in. They interviewed me. That was it.
Moorman says she was fired 3 months after she sent this letter to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, blowing the whistle that workers at the NIA Center licensing branch were selling driver's licenses under the table to people who never took the driver's test.
Undocumented workers.
How did it work? What was going on?
The undocumented workers would come into the office in groups. They would provide them either permits or driver's license illegally. So they will bypass without even taking the test.
How much?
$200 a person.
Up to 5 times a day, she says.
Was this an everyday thing?
Almost, yes.
1,000 a day, 5 times a day at $200 a pop. Was she a whistleblower? Or did she see that the writing was on the wall and she decided that she was going to try to get ahead of this problem that was going to start breathing down her neck real fast?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, she tried to say something, and surprise, surprise, she didn't get the whistleblower protections. But then again, there's been some things that have come out about which department is that? Department of deals with the whistleblower protections. I forgot.
I can't remember. Come on, guys, you can help us out.
Yeah. Either way, it's something that needs to be fixed. Our whistleblower, we need whistleblowers more than anything else right now. And I know there's people that are just
Kelsey's been talking
chomping
about
at the
that.
bit. Yeah. There's people chomping at the bit that want to open their mouth, but they feel like they can't. Why? Because they know that repercussions are around the corner. They know that if this scam gets put out, that, you know, at $1,000 a day, that's being brought into whatever swampiness is going on, that there's a possibility that they might not be breathing the next day. That is something that requires our government to speak up, especially if she's saying herself that it's a bunch of illegals that are getting driver's licenses that they shouldn't get. They didn't even bother taking a driver's license test. They didn't even bother taking the driver's test.
They already have enough issues
Yeah.
with, you know, hit and runs and you know, I mean, just hurting people. It's bad out here in Vegas.
It's bad everywhere. It's something that needs to be dealt with, and we're getting there. It's just not getting there as fast as we'd like it to. But we keep our faith, and we know that it's getting better every single day, and that at some point in time before the next election, I have a feeling that the congressional election, that a lot more things will be fixed here next year. So.
Oh, I think Clinton's definitely on the list.
Oh, Clinton's. Yeah. Cause I actually have heard, I've been hearing more and more of the little chatter in the background that Bill's probably going to get prison time. Chad says, I heard tourism is way down in Vegas.
It is.
100%.
Yeah.
Vegas is hurting right now. But then again, who has disposable income to go throw at a casino? So people, it's the disposable income. Like, people would put their money in a slot machine if they didn't have to pay so much for the room. And it's not just the room, it's the
I mean, it's the
resort fee.
$27 bagel. It's the,
Pay for
resort
your
fee,
parking.
pay for your parking,
Mhm.
pay for
Everything.
everything nowadays.
No more buffets. A buffet
there
was one
are
of the big
no
draws.
buffets
Uh,
anymore.
I think
I
there's
think there's
a couple, but it's not, the buffet extravaganza that always was Las Vegas.
We used to have an amazing seafood buffet here, and they got rid of that.
Yeah, it's not the Vegas that it was, but
No.
that's because the corporates took over
Mhm.
and the city isn't run the way it used to be ran when the employees understood, hey, you do a good job, people are going to give you tips, people are going to
Right.
do things for you. And now it's been corporatized, and people have got this Walmart mentality where they'll use a TV for 3-4 years and then bring it back and say it went bad. Well, that's because you've been running the TV nonstop for 4 years.
Yeah.
Nobody has accountability anymore.
I mean-
And so, yeah, people are just looking for whatever they can get for free, and the corporates just can't afford that.
Right. At one of our anniversaries, we were lucky enough to be able to go to Gordon Ramsay's steakhouse.
That was
And, it wasn't that bad.
It was
Now-
great. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm talking about price wise. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah, the price
that
was
bad.
the price
But
was fair
now-
considering it was Gordon Ramsay and
Yeah.
a fancy ass hotel in Las Vegas.
Right. But now, if you want to go have a dinner with your spouse, you better have $500.
You're going to White Castle, you're paying $20 for one person,
Yeah,
and it's a White Castle.
exactly. Exactly, Silver.
Yeah, a $12 latte in the Bellagio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can have a fancy name, but it's still a latte.
Yeah.
It's
Still coffee.
It's a shot.
Yeah. With some steamed milk.
Yeah,
And
with
I can
some
make
milk.
it at home.
Yeah, exactly. Chad says my sister lives there, and their dental office has slowed lately for whatever reason.
Because people cannot
People can't afford it.
afford it.
Yeah, they can't afford it. No, people can't even afford dental care unless the tooth is infected. I don't think people are going to go. It's just because nobody has money.
Not that I'm aware of, Chad. We got a
Did they?
No, we got a Whataburger on the Strip, and because it is on the Strip,
Oh yeah,
a regular Whataburger is like $12. That's ridiculous. Anyway, are you ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right. Political analyst from the United Arab Emirates sends a warning about the secret Islamist invasion of Ireland.
Ready?
All right.
Let's listen.
Most people in Ireland have never heard the term Muslim Brotherhood, and those who have assume it's something far away, something Egyptian, something foreign. But the reality is much closer, because in Ireland, the Muslim Brotherhood doesn't use its name. Here, it calls itself the Islamic Movement. It's not a new group, it's the same organization, just repackaged to blend into Ireland's civic and legal systems. In Dublin, they operate mosques, cultural centres, and religious councils. They establish charities and educational institutions, and they present themselves as harmless representatives of faith. But their real objective is not religious, it's political. They promote a global vision of political Islam. They dominate religious discourse, control Islamic education, and issue fatwas that serve an agenda. And behind the curtain, they function as a disciplinary network, rewarding loyalty, punishing dissent, and capturing leadership roles across Muslim communities. They exploit Ireland's non-profit laws to build financial pipelines, some of which have been quietly connected to extremist entities abroad. Charity is their branding, but indoctrination is their method. The Islamic movement in Ireland avoids violence, but it doesn't reject extremism. It simply outsources it. They shape minds, not battlefields. They set the tone for what's acceptable within mosques, schools, and public discussions, basically creating an echo chamber of Muslim Brotherhood ideology dressed in soft language. And the Irish state still has no formal designation for the Muslim Brotherhood. No investigations, no oversight, no barriers. That silence has become the Muslim Brotherhood's most powerful weapon in Ireland. But let's be clear, the Islamic movement in Ireland is the Muslim Brotherhood. Same roots, same goals, but it's even more dangerous. Because while the Muslim Brotherhood thinks globally, the Islamic movement targets the local community, fragmenting it from within, isolating it, and replacing integration with separation. It enables the Muslim Brotherhood to capture a country from the inside out. It's time to stop confusing freedom with naivety, and time to start recognizing what's happening before Ireland becomes their next base of operations.
Thoughts?
All right. Like so many religions, their goal is to expand and create new believers. It's interesting to see this. It's a very aggressive expansion of a religion. And the fact that they expect wherever they go that everybody changes their ways is not something that's very American in a lot of ways. Yes, we have freedom of religion, but sometimes the aggression to change our ways to it's funny because the left always supports them, and yet they're the most fundamentalist kind of religion out there that can be extremely hostile to people that don't believe the way they do.
They're kind of like the left.
They're kind of like the left, which is why they get along so well. But you know what? The fact that more and more of this conversation is starting to happen will help everybody recognize that this country allows all faiths, and that's important for Americans to remember. Cowbear says you don't have to change, you just have to pay the tax. Yeah, that's another way to do it too. Yeah, you don't have to change, you just got to pay to continue to believe in your faith, which is part of their faith.
Yeah.
Silver says Ireland needs to wake up. Ireland does need to wake up. And I know that the Fed is very much behind a lot of this in so many ways. Yeah. Just feel it.
Yeah. You ready?
Hey, Danielle.
Yes. Yes, Danielle.
Yeah.
Taxation is theft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gold will destroy the Fed.
Amen. Let's get there.
You ready?
Yes, I am.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. All right. China's richest man just bought an empty piece of land with only a warehouse in New Hampshire.
Let's listen.
All righty.
So have you heard about this modern day mystery that's happening in Nashua, New Hampshire? It's really kind of bizarre. Earlier this year, a Chinese company bought a piece of land in Nashua. It's essentially an empty warehouse, but now local experts and officials are telling us that they're worried that there might be national security concerns here. So Nongfu Springs is China's biggest water packaging supplier. They're owned by a man named Zhang Shengsheng, and according to Forbes, he's China's wealthiest man. So here is where the mystery is. We talked to literally anyone and everyone who would speak to us, and quite literally nobody could answer a simple question, which is, why did this company buy the property for $67 million when it was assessed at being worth $15 million? Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander told us that she's pretty concerned about this too, especially because it's within 100 miles, the property that is, of important military bases like Joint Base Cape Cod and the New Boston Space Station. So she's asking the Treasury Department to retroactively look into the sale of this property. We did a whole investigation into what was happening here. You can watch it in full up on our website, WMUR.com, and read all about our investigation. All you really have to do is search Nashua and Nongfu Springs, and it should come up.
Thoughts?
It gets a little bit more interesting. The more I think about it, one, I thought that they were communist. How can they have the wealthiest man in China have $61 billion? It doesn't sound very. How can anybody be a billionaire in China? What
Steph said.
I was on the other page there. Money laundering and military access. Yeah, these are the kinds of people that just manage to play the corruption game a little bit better than everybody else.
Everyone needs to do what Arkansas does and take everything away from China.
So let's read this AI overview. In 2025, the wealthiest man in China, Zhang Xinshan, the founder of Nongfu Spring Beverage Company, and listen, Beijing Wantai Biological Pharmacy Enterprise. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Pharmaceuticals and water. His net worth is estimated to be around $61 billion. He topped the list of China's richest individuals. His wealth primarily stemming from his diverse business interests in beverage and pharmaceutical industries. Water and pharmaceuticals just doesn't sound like that's something that should mix very well in terms of whatever. And then to think about everything you've ever heard about socialism makes it sound like there shouldn't be a single billionaire, let alone somebody who has 61 billion when there's people still living in mud huts in China. Doesn't sound like they're really spreading that wealth around. But hey, China's China. And that's another reason why so many people just know that communism doesn't work. Marxism does not work in any way because you have people involved. If you were to take the people out, then socialism would work just fine. But that's not how it is. Trump is such a troll. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pharmacy, not pharmacy.
Yeah.
Good one, Danielle.
Very good.
Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of just doesn't make sense. And why are they allowing him to buy all this land? I look forward to when America takes back all of this property from foreign investors, when Americans were denied the opportunity to invest in their own nation because the money was being given to a select elite few within this nation, which is counter to everything that is American values. Yeah, a reckoning is coming.
It is.
It's going to be a reckoning.
There'll be a revival in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
How about some Justin?
Yes, Justin's always good.
Let's listen.
All right.
Your words could be hindering or even stopping your call, your purpose, and your assignment. Why? Because life and death is in the power of your tongue. Perfect illustration found in the Word of God through the life of Zacharias. So the angel Gabriel appears before Zacharias and announces, you'll be having a son. You will name him John, and he will impact the kingdom of God. Zacharias responds in doubt and says, how is this to happen? I am too old to have children. Elizabeth can't bear any children. She's too old. How is this to happen? Gabriel responds by saying, I will remove your voice until the child is born. So why did Gabriel remove the voice of Zacharias until the child was born? Because Gabriel is in the kingdom of God and understands the operation of the kingdom of God. Gabriel understood that Zacharias had the authority to speak life or death into the assignment. Gabriel understood the importance of the assignment, that this child would bring Zacharias love and joy for the rest of his life, and John would impact the kingdom of God forever. So my question to you, what are you speaking over your life? What are you speaking over your purpose, your calling, your assignment? Consider this. The person or even people that were removed from your life never would have supported your purpose, your calling, or your assignment. God does love you, and he is serious about your calling, your purpose, and your assignment. So how do you tap into that? How do you tap into the will of God? By what you speak. Life and death is in the power of your tongue.
Thoughts?
All right. So we've said this on more than one occasion around here. It seems to be kind of a recurring theme. So apparently one of us needs to listen to the concept that the power of life and death is within our tongues. I know I still need to pay a lot more attention to the things that I say. But with that being said, I do try to speak life into whatever it is I'm saying. And I do consider a little bit more, but at the same time, it's one of the better practices that we can do. And as we stay in that prayerful mindset, it makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, make sure that we're being careful about the things that we say.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Chad. I think he nailed it.
Yeah, he nailed it. That was really good.
He nailed it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly.
We need something light.
All right. Gen X and the good old days.
Let's listen.
All right.
Oh God, another thing that was crazy about Generation X. I don't even know if you can talk about this anymore, but we did this thing. It's so weird. Okay. It was called critical thinking. And It's so crazy. So basically, what you would do, this is like in the old days, you would listen to both sides of a story or a topic or an issue, and then you would make your own, this is crazy, you'd make your own opinion that would then guide you through life.
Wow.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that's 100% true. It's
Like needs a boom.
yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. She gets, but
Yeah.
I mean, as funny as it was, actually, it shouldn't be funny now that I think about it, because that's the way it's supposed to be. I guess we laugh so we don't cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I saw that,
You hear
I thought it
both
was-
sides and then you make your own opinion. Oh my God, what an idea.
when I listened to that, I was like, oh my gosh, how many people would get offended by her saying that
I know.
and
Critical
cry
thinking.
about it?
Critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Make critical thinking great again.
Make critical thinking great again.
We've got so far to go.
I know.
We've got so far to go.
I know.
Let's move on, please, before I start doing more critical thinking and getting more critical about the lack of thinking.
I know. Would you read that, please?
Yes. Hold on a second. Here we go. Oh, shoot. All right. There we go. All right, eyeball. Here we go. Tim Burchett talks non-governmental organizations.
Let's listen.
All right.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. A lot of people ask me, what's the deal with those dadgum NGOs? Non-government organizations. They get a heck of a lot of your money, though, and here's how it works. They're not non-government because you and I fund it. We borrow the money to send to them. Afghanistan, for instance, where we had the bill to defund the Taliban. It's in the Senate now, and the other side, oh man, they pitched a fit when we added NGOs. We're cutting them off because here's what happens. You got these billionaires who hate our guts, destroy everything we stand for. They'll put $1 million in some group that has some fancy name, Feed the Children. I don't know, maybe that's not an accurate one, but anyway, you get the picture. And so they'll put $1 million in there, which is nothing to them, pennies on their dollars. And so they apply for this federal money, and then the unelected bureaucrat in Washington says, oh, they got $1 million, and they're legit. And so then they literally have put billions upon billions of dollars in these things. Afghanistan alone, over 1,000 non-government organizations are working out there. And you add the UN stuff, and we think it could be multiples of thousands of organizations working out of there, all this bogus stuff. I mean, do you really believe we're spending $10 million on a dadgum drag show? Where's the money go? Right back in the pockets of politicians, probably some in Washington. So there's a paper trail. Somebody's going to find out about it, but we know it probably goes into dark money campaigns, fighting good Republicans as well. And anyway, it's got to stop. And thank you, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Dadgummit. Big, beautiful bill, these executive orders, that's exactly what they're stopping. Scrap the whole thing and start over. Thank y'all for sending me here.
Thoughts?
All right. I'm glad he's saying this because it's
Dadgummit.
Dadgummit. It needs to be said.
Yes,
I like that, by the way. Dadgummit.
I do too.
Anyways, it's the things that need to be said. A lot of people already know it, but it's something that needs to be repeated frequently, and that's that these non-governmental organizations are completely government funded in so many ways. It's like saying that that PBS was entirely funded by donations. It's not the case. It wasn't. It was a government ran program, just like each one of these non-governmental organizations are. They're governmental under a different name, and those are the things that need to be fixed. It's again, charity should be done from the local area. It should be done through your local church. Know your church, know what they're doing with your money, and give to them, because that's should be their job to make sure that these things that are important to the parishioners or the I don't know, do you call them parishioners? It's more of a Catholic thing, isn't it?
Congregation.
The congregation, thank you. There you go. The congregation is the ones that should be driving where their donations are going, provided that the people are donating enough. In which case, it all depends on how everything's run. But it used to be done through the churches, and there's no reason why it can't be done through the churches again. With the fact that we have charities being run entirely off the government funds tells me that the government is super overbloated and they don't deserve the amount of money that they have.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. You want to read what Calvert said?
Harris spent $1 billion on her campaign. Yeah. How did the $1 billion get there?
Yeah.
Probably through a lot of non-governmental organizations.
And I said, supposedly, I think a lot of it went into people's pockets.
Of course.
Exactly, Silver.
Yeah. And lost in a landslide.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Would you read that, please?
Certainly. Greenpeace co-founder Dr. Patrick Moore underscores the catastrophic consequences of net zero.
Let's listen.
And they're getting away with doing something now. They're going into agriculture and threatening to cut off the supply of food because food is causing global warming. And, oh, isn't that nice? Only the billionaires will be able to afford to buy food, and all the other people will die, and because there's not enough food. That's what we're heading for if we continue to listen to these people. And they are about to perpetrate one of the most evil acts in the history of human civilization, which is to cause poverty and starvation to hundreds of people if they go with this net zero. In order to get net zero, we'd have to kill all the animals, including ourselves, because we are an emission of CO2. We are talking about the most important things for the survival of ourselves every day: food and energy. Nothing else is as important as those two things. Water, right, is part of food. They haven't decided to cut the water off just yet. But if they go ahead with what they are thinking and planning, they will cause a ruination the likes of which the earth has never seen. Because there are over 8 billion of us, and 4 billion of us depend on nitrogen fertilizer, which they now say is bad because it's a greenhouse gas or whatever. It isn't actually a greenhouse gas, but they've got some story about how nitrogen in the form of nitrous oxide is going to cause the earth to warm up to unacceptable degrees. It's all completely phony. And so is the campaign against CO2, completely phony. There's nothing to it. It's not a real thing. And yet they have made it into a real thing in the West in particular. Russia, India, and China are busy building coal plants and nuclear plants.
Thoughts?
The very people who are telling us that we need to reduce our carbon footprint are the people doing all the carbon emissions.
Mm-hmm.
Telling us that we're the ones that need to tighten our belt and tell us that we need to make sacrifices. Meanwhile, they go to fancy pants places and eat, $1,000 steaks with some dude who, spills salt on his forearm for the pure entertainment of it. It's always the limousine liberals, isn't it? Everybody else needs to go ahead and suck it up. So that way because they know so much better. Look at how great everything is, compared to what it was before. Oh yeah, of course it's great for you because you've got everybody's money and you're telling everybody else that they don't even have the ability to live a decent life. Well, kiss my grits. How about that? I don't care about your carbon emissions when you're the ones that have these spy centers everywhere with the AI and all the data centers. How much electricity is that burning up? And how much CO2 emissions are those things directly related to? What about all these batteries that are destroying the car batteries that are destroying the environment and the wind farms? It's always the green things that cause us the most problems. And so as their money gets dried up because the corruption that they had isn't able to be done quite in the effective manner that it was before, they're showing their ass more and more. The Greenpeace guy, I really don't know much anything about him, but I can tell you I haven't really trusted that organization for about as far back as I can remember. I know that it all sound nice and, you know, frou-frou-y and unicorn farts and all that other kind of stuff, but in the end, it really just didn't pass the muster in terms of what they were saying versus what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of hearing about and hearing from the Al Gores in life. Okay, thanks for telling us that it's not so good. We knew this. You know, why did you play the game for so long? Why didn't you speak up sooner? Sorry. But anyways, thanks. I appreciate it. Keep spreading the word to the people that need to hear it because they weren't listening to us. So I guess in the end, I guess we can cancel out your Team Blue credits, some of them. Chop says, have you guys come across the story about a proposal at Western Michigan University to spread those ticks that cause allergies to red meat? No.
I asked him to send it to him.
Yeah, please send that. Haven't heard anything about that. I know that they're always trying to cause some kind of problems to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Would you read that, please?
1913 was the year we lost our country.
Let's listen.
You guys know that 1913 was the year we actually lost control of our country, right? Oh, and just for historical context, World War I started in 1914. I mean, look, I'm sure that was a coincidence, but let me just tell you all the things that were created in 1913. First, the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal nor has any reserves. It's basically a private bank that just controls all of our money. Second thing created in 1913 was the IRS. And I'm sure it's just a coincidence that it was created the exact same year that a private bank took over all of our money. Yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence that that was the year they started taxing you. Like, you work, they print, and then you pay them back with interest. Yeah, that makes sense. The next thing created was the Rockefeller Foundation. Yeah, and let's be real, that was all about philanthropy. It's not like they took control of medicine, education, science, and basically the health of the world. I mean, let's be real, all they were doing was donating money. Yeah, it's not like they were buying control of everything. Oh, and that worked out so well, right? Because people are healthier and more self-sufficient than ever, right? Oh yeah, also in 1913 was the American Cancer Society. I mean, that sounds like a good thing, right? That can't possibly be bad, except it was completely funded by extremely wealthy people. But even though it was a charity, they never really gave to anyone. No, they just took their money and invested in pharmaceutical drugs. Oh, and chemo. Yeah, instead of taking that money and investing in companies that were trying to find a cure, no, we'll just invest in companies that use chemicals from the military that were later banned. Yeah, that's a good thing to keep fucking putting into people. Then also created in 1913, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which sure, yeah, it's about civil rights. Yeah, totally. It's not about censoring people or, silencing critics. And then in 1914, we had World War I, and that became the first war ever that private industry profited from war. The private industry that's owned by the same families that created the Fed, the IRS, the Rockefeller Foundation, the American Cancer Society, the ADL. Again, just a coincidence. Oh, I'd also like to point out that a year prior to 1913, 1912, yeah, that was when the Titanic sank. And it's funny how three of the wealthiest individuals on that ship were the loudest voices opposed to central banking. Oh, and there's also the little tidbit that JP Morgan was supposed to be on that boat, but he canceled at the last second. But yeah, that's conspiracy. That's tinfoil hat talk. So what's happened since 1913? Well, the dollar has lost 99% of its value. Our debt has just become like a number that we ignore. Middle class getting fucked daily. War is now an industry instead of a conflict. Oh yeah, and your money isn't real anymore. Like, it's just not real. It's not backed by anything. It's just numbers on a paper that private bank prints. So guys, look, if you're worried about America being conquered or, a rebellion or it being taken over, I just want you to recognize that you're more than 100 years too late. That shit already happened in 1913.
Thoughts?
So, couple of things. It's actually 99.5% is how much the dollar has been devalued. If you're going off of the price of 1 ounce of gold, $20 to $3,400. And of course, Guess who was president at that point in time? The world's worst president, Woodrow Wilson. Thomas Woodrow Wilson, March 4th, 1913 to March 4th, 1921. He presided over all of those things. And I didn't hear him talk about the bonus army because that was when they shut the military down. And really, if you think about it, The Wizard of Oz was written about, this kind of time frame. The Cowardly Lion was the military. The farmers, they didn't stand up for what they were supposed to do. The unions didn't stand up. That would have been the Tin Man. Let's see, who did I forget? Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion. I think I got him. Anyways, and then Dorothy.
And then Dorothy.
So, we got a long ways to go. And this is one of the things where it should be a reminder that we don't even know how to be free anymore. We're learning that, and the vestigial organ that is freedom right now, it can come back. But we certainly need a lot of these corrupt people to be put away. And how do we even know how to be vigilant to make sure that our freedoms aren't being usurped in the future, because we don't even know what freedom is anymore. It's one of the most difficult things. And anybody who could have told us what freedom was back from before 1913 probably ain't around too much to tell us other places where we need improvement. It's kind of a tough situation. And this is why the old books that are from pre-1913 are so important, because they're the things that tell us what the thought process was. We have a long ways to go, but we can get there because we can read the books that the people read back then. And that's going to be all of the classics.
Exactly.
We got a lot of work to do, but we can get there.
Hey, Randoon.
Hey, Randoon. Thanks for joining. Didn't see that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Seriously.
We do.
I hear you, Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
All righty.
Don't care that somebody call themselves a Christian. We're checking for fruit, evidence of grace and transformation. Where is the presence of the Holy Spirit in your life? Where is your desire by nature to follow the commandments of God Almighty? What are we talking about? I don't care. I don't care. I ain't trying to fill up no room. I'm going to preach this truth, whether the room is full or the room is empty. They ain't going to shut me up. I ain't up here to get your approval. I don't care if half of y'all don't come back next week. Your blood is not going to be on my hands in the judgment. Anybody in society could put Christian in their profile, but we're checking for fruit. We're looking for evidence.
Thoughts?
We should always be looking for evidence. We should be looking at the fruits that people provide. Those are the things that tell us what's really going on, and not everybody's going to have perfect fruit. We're all human, but at the same time, the fruit that you generally see is the fruit that's going to explain where their heart's really at. And in the end, that's what we're looking for, is the fruit that people produce, so we can understand where their heart is, because from the heart emanates all that is good and all that is bad. And so when people put their heart into something and we see what comes out of that, then we will have a better idea as to what's going on in their world. Now, does it mean that we should let those people go if they got bad fruit? No. We need to keep some amount of distance, obviously, and that's fine. But those people, that is a cry for help at the same time. And the fact that they want to produce some kind of good fruit doesn't mean that they're incapable of producing good fruit. It just means that they need help finding the right way to put that fertilizer on their life, of the gospel, so that way they can start doing things and produce better fruit. And so it is a litmus test for us to determine where we are with those people based off of the fruit that they produce.
Amen. Hope says, I've gotten some rotten fruit.
Or
I've seen some rotten fruit.
Yeah.
Yep.
This bizarro world.
Absolutely. You ready?
Yeah. With some of them, we even elect to be president.
I know.
ish. Maybe probably not, but you know, it's,
No, we didn't.
I don't
No.
think Barry
No.
and Dirty Joe.
No.
Nobody wanted that.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's watch.
All righty.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
So, what do you think about our towels after almost 2 years?
Speaking of good fruit,
Mm-hmm.
check out mypillow.com/DTOO.
Mike Lindell is amazing.
Mike Lindell is amazing. And it's I have been so pleased with the products that we have received from MyPillow. It's just been really good. And again, you know that we support Mike Lindell because he put it all on the line, and he took some slings and arrows, and he did it because he believes in the American experiment. He believes in the fact that President Trump was doing everything that he could to fix this nation, and so he put it out there. And if nothing else, we need to support patriotic people like Mike Lindell because of the things that they do. And it's not just a hollow support. We really do have the towels. We really do have MyPillow 1.0 and 2.0. I like both of them. The 1.0.
Oh, and the kitchen towels are amazing.
Yeah, Kay loves the kitchen towels. I don't know, it's kitchen towels,
Right.
whatever. So, but the sheets, the comforters, all of it's amazing. I really do love it. And the duvet, but it's just, it's 109 today. So.
Yeah.
108 right now. So probably don't need the duvet.
No, not right now.
But I will tell you, those sheets do amazing things.
They do. And the towels are
Towels are
they really dry you off.
They are.
They are silver. They're so soft.
And
So if
super
you're
durable.
in
They last for we've had ours over a decade. At least one of them, right?
What?
The blue ones, have we had them for about 10 years yet?
Yes.
I know we've had them for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Y'all know
Anyway,
that we
so
love
if
my
you're
pillow.
in the market for anything, go check out mypillow.com/DTOO. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's listen.
All right.
Your ego can either make you or break you. The great Julius Caesar understood this. At the height of his power, when the world bowed at his feet, he employed a slave to follow him and whisper, "Memento mori." Remember, you are mortal. Why? Because unchecked ego blinds you. It makes you forget your limits, your mortality, your humanity. Your ego wants you to believe you're invincible. But the truth? Ego is a trap. It's the barrier between who you are and who you could become. Caesar knew that power without humility leads to ruin. He knew that true greatness demands restraint. So ask yourself, who's keeping your ego in check? What voice do you listen to when success tempts you to lose sight of your values? Control your ego, or your ego will control you. Greatness isn't about being celebrated. It's about staying grounded. And remember, stay humble, or prepare to be humbled.
All right. Actually, I think it was Marcus
The-
Aurelius, not Caesar, but
It
Caesar was a great leader as well.
Thoughts?
And so our ego, it does so many things. It's the thing that keeps us alive, but it's also the very thing that Caesar did use to make people not be egotistical when he burnt their ships after they landed on the coast of Carthage and gave them no way home except for through Carthage. But Memento Mori, the slave who was paid to whisper into a Roman general's ear, or even Marcus Aurelius, memento mori. Mori means remember your mortality, remember death. And we do need to remember death, that our time is finite, and that it's very important that we make most of every moment. But at the same time, we must make sure that we're not doing things for our own gratification, but we're doing things for the gratification of our Creator. And how do we do that? We have to be more considerate before we actually do the things. We must make sure that we're doing something that's not in our own self-interest. Is the ego helpful in some situations? Yeah, it keeps us from crossing the street in front of a moving vehicle so that we don't get run over. But we allow, especially in today's society, we allow our egos to take over, because that's the thing that's encouraged in this world, and that is of this world. We need to lose our egos. That's why Jesus washed his disciples' feet, and they couldn't comprehend that concept, that here is the Messiah washing their feet. And so it's that humility is putting a stake in the heart of the ego, so that way we can be the servants that God wanted us to be. Hey, Skunk, welcome back. Good to see you.
We are back.
We are back too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are back. We are back. Thank you very much. Happy to see you.
I love this from Dawn. Easing God out. Ego.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
Mhm.
I like that. I mean, not the easing God out thing, but
Yeah.
you get it. Anyways, I don't know if he was the founder of Stoic philosophy. That could be. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have to look that up now.
Yeah.
You figured that's what I know. Wow, is that RT now Liberty?
He put a link up there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There we go.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be
Thank
back.
you. We're glad to be back, Skunk. Yeah, we needed a break. We needed to take a step back and readjust so many things in life. And Kay, and you know what? It's been a while. We can go over this again because, well, that was the motto. But a lot of things were really weighing heavy on us, and we were allowing everything else in life to kind of pile up on top of us. And so we had to take a step back, reconsider, reorganize our lives, so that way we had the ability to do things like this show that we love so much. And we love each and every one of you. It's the main reason why we're here. We love y'all so much, and it's a lot of fun for us too. And so we knew that we weren't helping anybody, and while we weren't working on the things that we needed to work on within ourselves. Does it mean that we're fixed on the inside? Most certainly not. As a matter of fact, we still have lots of stuff to work on. But with that being said, we are in a place now where we can continue to make steps forward in our own personal development, so that way we can do things better for each and every one of you, as opposed to producing continually worsening fruit, which is the direction we were headed in.
Yeah. And we feel much happier now.
Yeah, we're happier now. You know, the wife's happier, so I'm happy. You know, happy wife, happy life. Okay. Oh, thanks. So I wasn't right. I just didn't know. I was just lucky. But actually, good information. The founder of Stoic philosophy is Zeno of Citium, a Greek.
That's awesome.
Those Greeks.
Thank you, Silver. You're so
Thanks, Skunk.
amazing.
I appreciate that.
We love you all so very much.
We do love you. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll be back tomorrow. Same dat time, same dat channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Locals, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on Pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on Facebook, you have like 7 choices. So clickety click away.
Clickety click, everybody. Make sure you give us a comment down on the bottom. All of this engagement truly helps us out.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe. And God bless each and every one of you.
We love you guys.
Thank you.